Hi everybody, my name is Jessie and I do perfume reviews in ASMR format. So if you like perfume and also if you like ASMR, you are in a good place for our video today. Alright, so today it is night right now, or it's like 9:20, so the sun is almost down because we're almost to the longest day of the year. Well, when this video goes live, it will probably be like a few weeks later, but anyway, yeah, so it's kind of dark. I've got my ring lights on though, and I am reviewing, this is called White Moss and Snowdrop by Malone. This is I think it's just 1 ounce. Yeah, the 1 ounce bottles, they come in these little slender bottles, which I like. They're perfect for me, and obviously they're more affordable, although they don't look quite as luxury as the larger bottles, which have this nice, more rounded, substantial metal top. So the reason that I purchased this fragrance off of Mercari, I found a good deal on Mercari, and I think I bundled it with maybe 3 other fragrances that the seller had. But the reason I purchased it was because it had a moss note, and if you haven't heard me say, I really like the note of oak moss or moss. I don't like it too strong. Like, I don't want to smell straight up mossy, but I find that a note of moss really adds a dimension to fragrance that I really like, as long as it's balanced out with some other notes as well. So anyway, I'm gonna do an oak moss video at some point, my oak moss perfumes, but yeah, I think I'll wait till fall because oak moss really makes me think of fall. I don't know. Does it make you think of fall? It makes me think of fall. So I dressed on theme. I decided to go for this kind of like I don't know what to say, mossy. To me, it's like a mossy colored. It's like a warm green, like an olive green, I guess. And then, since it's called Snowdrop, which refers actually to a flower, snowdrop flower, I wore these little white drop earrings, which are kind of like little snowdrops. I think these are called snowy quartz. Yeah. Sometime I could do, if you're interested, I could do like an ASMR of my jewelry collection, and just tell you about my earrings. I kind of have told you about my earrings. Probably at some point I told you that I made these ones. And so, yeah, like most of my earrings have, the homemade ones, they always have like a little bit of a story, even if it's just like I purchased it and I wrapped it. But yeah, maybe someday I could do like an ASMR of my earrings. Okay. Yeah, so let's go ahead and spray this fragrance, and I will let you know what I'm smelling. Alright, so today's flower fairy is this looks like some sort of tree. I don't know what tree. I'm not sure what tree that is. But moss grows on trees, so I feel like this is very fitting. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this a spray. Okay, so I let this dry down, and upon first sniff, it's very mossy, earthy. To me, it also comes off as, there's like a warmth to it, almost like a touch spicy. spicy or like ambery warm. Definitely like aromatic herbal. That's mostly what I'm getting, is like mossy, warm ambery, spicy, aromatic. And for me, this leans too masculine, but also just too strong for me. So I knew right away when I smelled this the first time that I wasn't going to be keeping it. To me, this very much smells like more of a men's cologne, but it's somewhat unisex, I guess. But it definitely reads more as a men's cologne, although it is marketed as unisex. But I think all Jo Malone fragrances are marketed as unisex. I think they might be. But it smells kind of festive. Like, it just reminds me of, feels like something that like a man could wear during the holidays, if that makes any sense. Like festive, masculine leaning cologne. Okay, so yeah, let's look at the main accords for this fragrance. Okay, so first we have citrus, mossy, floral, earthy, amber, green, aromatic, fresh, white floral, sweet. So I would not put citrus, personally I would not put citrus as the first. I would put mossy as the first, mossy or earthy as the first. I would put like amber as the second. I guess there's citrus in here, but it's not like standing out to me. I think there's gotta be like, yeah, like floral notes, citrus notes, but to me they're not prominent. I would say like the green notes and aromatic notes, if anything, are more prominent than the floral and citrus notes. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and look at the notes. Alright, so we have 2 top notes, and they are petitgrain and clementine. So petitgrain is the leaves, I believe, of the orange blossom. Yeah, it says green citrus note of leaves and crushed branches. So I think that when they have the citrus main accord at the top, it's probably including the petitgrain, which to me is not the same scent really as like clementine, for example, or orange or lemon. It's definitely more of a green aromatic scent. But anyway, so we've got petitgrain and clementine in the top notes, and I would say I get some of the petitgrain, and I guess I get a touch of the clementine, but it's not pronounced to me. It's like definitely not a like juicy, citrusy scent at all. It's more like aromatic and mossy and some amberiness in the base. Okay, and then in the middle notes, we've got 2 middle notes, and they are neroli and snowdrops, so 2 white florals. Neroli is orange blossom, but the way it's processed, it smells pretty green. So kind of, again, it's like a citrus, but it smells very green. And then I have no idea what snowdrops smell like. I'll click and see what it says. It says a spring smelling cool, fresh fantasy floral note inspired by the tiny blossoms of the snowdrop. So it's a fantasy note. So it's not, doesn't actually have a smell, but it's supposed to smell cool and crisp. I feel like I might be getting that. I'm not sure. And then, yeah, I feel like I'm getting like something from the neroli and petitgrain. I will say that I don't know if it's the snowdrop or what, but something about this smells vintage to me, but like in a nice way, not in a, there's been some vintage scents that like were just the vintage was too much for me. This one smells vintage in a nice way, and obviously it's not vintage, but it has that feel to it. It might also be because of the moss. I feel like oak moss can give a bit of a vintage smell. I feel like it used to be in maybe a lot more fragrances back in the day, but I'm not even sure about that. That's just a guess. Okay, and then in our base we've got three base notes, and they are moss, tonka bean, and amber. So I'm getting all those base notes. I'm getting the moss, and I'm getting the amber. I guess the one that I'm maybe getting least is the tonka bean, but yeah, I'm definitely getting the moss and amber. So I would say what I'm getting most in this fragrance is moss, and then followed by like a tie of like amber and the neroli petitgrain kind of like green citrus, like aromatic citrus. Oh my gosh, got caught on my hair. And then like, yeah, maybe I'm getting the other notes, like I'm not sure. So that's what I'm getting. I'm gonna go ahead and show the votes on Fragrantica, let you know what other people are picking up. They say that firstly they are getting the oak moss, followed by the petitgrain, then the neroli, the tonka bean, clementine, snowdrops, and then amber. So that's pretty similar to me, except like I said, I'm definitely getting more amber from this. Yeah, it smells like amber to me for sure. But honestly, part of the reason that's probably standing out so strongly to me is that I feel that I am very sensitive to amber, and I only tend to like amber when it's really blended in. When I can just smell it outright, I don't tend to like it. I'm not sure why, but so yeah, I do get like, to me, a prominent amber note in here, but like apparently nobody else does, or maybe they're thinking it's the tonka bean according to their votes. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like this is a nice fragrance. It's definitely not something I would wear, but like I said, you have to like moss, but I feel like I think of it as like a festive, like late fall, winter sort of scent, I guess, because it's got like a bit of that citrus, but like it's like a dark, mossy citrus, so it kind of makes me think of like, if you think of like oranges for, like Christmas oranges with like the cloves and spices and like, the like smells of the forest of that time. And I don't know, that's kind of like the impression that I'm getting. I think if I was going to keep this fragrance, I wanted it to have more of the snowdrop note, like a little bit more floral, and also the clementine, just be like a little brighter, lighter, like more feminine leaning. And yeah, but I do appreciate it. I just personally wouldn't wear it. So before I go over a little more information on this fragrance, I just wanted to touch on the other Jo Malone fragrances that I own. So this is Wood Sage and Sea Salt. This is one of Jo Malone's best sellers. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if this maybe was Jo Malone's bestseller. It's talked about so much, but I love it. I just feel like you cannot go wrong. It's a salty, lightly salty, airy, aquatic. It's like more so technically marine because it's got that sea salt note. But it's got like sea salt, sage. I think it might have like a driftwood note and like a seaweed note, but it doesn't smell seaweedy at all. And it's got what is it? Oh my god, I can't think of words. Grapefruit. It's got a grapefruit note, which gives it like a freshness, but the salt really rounds it all out. It's just really pretty. I love it. So that's Wood Sage and Sea Salt. And then I've got Jo Malone Orange Bitters. So this one is, I think it's just bitter orange, amber and sandalwood. And it's really, really pretty. Again, I would say this is like a festive Christmas scent, but to me, this is more straight up unisex, whereas the Snowdrop is more masculine leaning. This one is probably not one I'm gonna reach for very often because it's a little bit too like ambery heavy or something, which is kind of ridiculous. Most people would not think that about this, but I'm just really sensitive and particular about scents, and I tend to like really light ones. But this one's really beautiful. It's like a very smooth, not super sweet, kind of dry orange, bitter orange, but not like bitter, but not sweet. So that is Orange Bitters by Joe Malone. And then lastly, these are just minis, so perfect for me because they spray. This one is English Pear and Freesia, and it is, I think, mostly just that. Like, I mean, it has some other notes actually, but it's like mostly pear and freesia. And it also has a patchouli note, which I really do love patchouli. So this is really pretty. I feel like, yeah, just a very pretty, fresh, bright scent, but it's got some of that patchouli in the base, so it's very well grounded. Really nice scent. English Pear and Freesia. This is also one of their best sellers. I know that for sure. Okay, so let's go over just a little bit more information on this fragrance, White Moss and Snowdrop. So, this fragrance was launched in 2018, so it's about 5 years old, and it has a rating of 3.74 out of 5 with 278 votes, so decent kind of mid-range rating, but it has not been rated very many times, so it's not one of those Joe Malones that has been bought that much. I am thinking maybe they'll discontinue it at some point. I don't know. Okay, so I did not wear this because, like I said, it's just not something I would wear. But users on Fragrantica say that the longevity is right in the middle, moderate, decent longevity. They say that the sillage projection is like on the slightly more intimate side, but like intimate, moderate, so like maybe a 4 out of 10. Gender, they're rating it as feminine leaning unisex. I rate it as masculine leaning unisex. Price value, they're saying it's a little bit overpriced. I don't know what this would go for new. I'm thinking like maybe $80-ish, but I don't know. But I bought this, I think I got it online for like, on Mercari for like $55 in a bundle with some other ones, so I got a better deal on it. Okay, so let's look at just a couple reviews and see what people have to say. Okay, so one person says, this just isn't good. It's not awful, but it's just not enjoyable on my skin. It has moments of sweet powder and citrus, then it's just messy moss and earthy herbal. I like moss, but this ain't the moss I like. Okay, somebody else says, very green, mossy opening. Very slight citrus and amber notes exist, but not very apparent, not really to my liking. Has slight wintry vibe that exists with Soleil Neige. I don't know what that is. This is a clean and fresh scent that is light enough that people who are not too keen towards perfumes should not be offended. I don't personally find this to be light. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like heavy, but I don't find it to be light myself personally. Okay, somebody who loves this fragrance says, the smell of moss and very green petitgreen makes me reminisce about winter days, walking in the park, feet buried with the snow, with a little bit of midday sun, winter in this perfume bottle has a change from the dry and cold of white moss to the cool and warm of citrus and amber. I am so in love with this. Okay, everybody, that is my review of Jo Malone, White Moss, and Snowdrop. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm going to be going to bed soon, but something I've been getting into recently, not planned, but just happened, is I've been getting really into puzzles. So I'm going to go do a little bit of a puzzle that I started working on that I found at the thrift store. And so I'm strangely excited about that. And then I'm going to go to bed. So I'm just sending you all some love, peace, beauty, and harmony. And I will catch you all again soon. Okay, bye.